So, this is Amnian Nights. This is a new campaign, weekly, and it is set in Forgotten Realms using, surprise, surprise, 5e. These are our players. We have 4 players for this campaign. Let's hear who you are and who you'll be playing, and we'll start with Luca.
Hi, I'm Luca Locke, and I'm playing Asher Vasher.
Next up, we've got me. I am Monkey, and I am playing Atticus Gladstone.
I'm Mr. Death, and I'll be playing Obsidian.
And I'm Gija, and I'm playing Side Gladstone.
And I will be playing everybody else. This campaign is set in AMN, which is a region of the Forgotten Realms south of where everything else normally happens. We are the nearest city to the north, over the Small Teeth Mountain, is Baldur's Gate. You might have heard of that recently. That is about a week or two away. So the region of Arm is warmer, very temperate, a bit of sort of wastelands over to the east, but yeah, very, very big city. And all of our characters, for various reasons, have been making their way towards Athkatla, the city of coin. On entry to the city in a trade caravan, they were stopped and searched by the guards on their way into the city. The caravan was pretty heavily raided. It was a bit of like a SWAT team sort of search. And through one circumstance or another, all of them found themselves arrested. I believe from our discussions, we decided it was probably Atticus who first inflamed things. Do you want to remind us how you think that might have happened, Atticus?
I think at the prospect of being told that he was under suspicion or that his comrades may have been, he would have been quite indignant, which might have led to what we might call resisting arrest.
And it all sort of escalated from there. So you have all been arrested, your equipment seized. Those of you who had anything on you that you shouldn't have had will have had that taken from you, and you are now all in prison rags. Long sleeves, grubby, clearly not been washed since the last person who wore them, and you are now finding yourselves marched and thrown into cells, and this is pretty much where our campaign will pick up. So, slightly less dungeon-like than this. This scene that fantastically has not loaded on the stream view. Has it loaded for all of you? What a fantastic start.
Less tokens, I imagine.
Yep. There we go. Less dingy. Surprisingly, for all the people out there and for all the James RPG art he's done, there's nothing of just a prison, or there's nothing of a dungeon that isn't some Draugr-filled chamber deep beneath Skyrim. So we are not dripping ceiling. For those of you, sorry to give a very specific reference, those of you who are more familiar with World of Warcraft, we're talking the stockades, sort of, grey brick, wide corridor with cells, but you are marched through and find yourselves shoved rather unceremoniously into a set of cells. Not just yourselves in there, there are strangers and a couple of faces familiar from the caravan. Almost everybody from the caravan was brought in. But here is where we find ourselves. Do we all have our characters available to us?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is impatient already. Is this in character pacing?
Probably so.
So you each have a very small cell. There is barely any light, just enough to be making each other out. One of the things I didn't mention at the start, just in case any viewers get a little confused, for the purposes of this game, we are initially going with no dark vision. It may arrive narratively at some point during the campaign, but we have stripped dark vision. So this is a dark campaign. But yes, you're each in a very, very small, squat chamber. Bars you can all see through to each other. You can hear the sounds of the prison in the background. It was evening when your caravan was arriving at the gates, so you know that it is nighttime in the city. Those of you who peer out through the double barred gates into the area you were in can see out into the prison area. You know from when you were being marched in, outside your area there was a huge circular fenced off chamber, very much like the sort of thing that Hannibal was kept in the middle of that room. You saw a large grate on the floor, and enough blood in that chamber that you'd possibly be questioning what sort of prison this is. This is an official Athkatlan prison. The guards who took you bore the insignia. You were marched beneath a barracks and the gatehouse, but inside this prison is rather grisly. There are no guards currently, although you can hear them nearby. Starting from the top, Asher, what are you doing?
So we've just been thrown in here, right?
I will. And I'm going to show everybody Asher's art if you want to tell us what they see, albeit in prison rags.
Right. Yeah, so Asher is... You'd put her in her late 20s looking at her. She has dark eyes, tan skin, and just an abundance of dark wavy hair, kept loose and like very wild. And she is just kind of sitting. She'll walk in to her cell after the guard puts us all in there and just kind of sit for a minute. And then once any guards have walked out of here, she's gonna just summon herself a necklace around her neck after sitting there for a second, and it'll appear around her neck, and then she'll kind of stretch out, look around, and summon a chair and just kind of lean it up against the back of the wall and take a seat.
So when you summon your necklace, is there any sort of light or any sort of invocation you need to make?
She just sits there and okay. And it'll appear around her neck.
Okay. It being dark, it not making any light, I would say it's safe that nobody notices that. But perhaps the scrape of wood on stone. What is it? Is it a wooden chair?
Yeah, it is a wooden chair with faded red paint.
Okay. Over the way, we have Atticus, who, again, in prison rags, but otherwise, here's what he looks like. Tell us what we see, Monkey.
Yes, Atticus is a handsome young chap in his kind of middling 20s, curly hair and a short trimmed beard. And where he's normally at home in a set of heavy armor, as you mentioned, he's currently donned the prison rags. He's probably looking a little bit tousled and worse for wear, as the guards probably had to shove him through here and drag him through by force. And he's gonna, in a sort of kind of testing way, give a bit of a kick out at the door in a huff to see whether it's likely that he might be able to do some damage to it.
The thin, ragged cloth shoes they gave you that are almost just like water socks stub your toe heavily as you kick these thick iron bars. These are... We exist in a world where orcs, half-ogres, Goliaths may be held in these prisons that are built to last. Your cloth-covered foot makes no significant impact.
Well, you can say one thing about Am, at least they know how to build a prison. Sire, can you hear me? Are you there?
Ati, is that you?
I'm down the far end. Clearly they thought I was the most dangerous one.
Clearly, well, you're definitely the one making the most noise.
And so I should think. Guard! I'm not sure you know who I am.
That didn't work 5 minutes ago. I don't think it's going to work now.
There is
I have a scroll of pedigree. If he was simply to look in my bag, he would see a document proving my heritage and our father. I'm sure they wouldn't treat us in such a way.
There are assorted chuckles from the red shirt prisoners filling up the other cells. A story they've heard too many times. But yeah, the person who Atticus is shouting to, Sire, if I show their art, tell us about them, Gija.
Sire is obviously non-human, even though she presents mostly humanoid. Very immediately, there's some distinct features about her that betray her otherworldly origin. Her white hair fans out into feathers in mid-length, sort of a reddish orange, very much a feather kind of texture. Her skin glistens almost like a snake does when the light hits it. And she's got very strange looking eyes that both enthrall and give a real sense of mistrust to people who look upon her. She's currently fairly chill. She is trying to figure out how resistant the hinges on the door would be, and just kind of like sussing out if there's any weakness that she might exploit.
Okay. Meanwhile, leaning up against the bars, figure, sort of squinting in the dark, looks you up and down. You're an absolute specimen, aren't you? Says this dwarf to the large dragon figure on the other side of the bars. Mr. Death, tell him who the dwarf is making an unwarranted pass at.
Well, Obsidian is quite a bulky lizard that typically stands upright. His body is covered in strange old scars, underneath which you can see something akin to slowly moving lava underneath. There are some scales on his body that are clearly, were at some point clearly missing. They have been replaced, and there's a distinct black shine to the polished surface of the stones that replaced them, that have been grafted into the skin, or like into the...
What are they made of?
What indeed? That will remain a mystery, I believe, for most of the campaign.
polystyrene. But yeah, this dwarf looks admiringly upon you.
And yeah, I believe Obsidian would be taking similar approach to Atticus, just trying the bars, trying to just direct approach. Do they bend? Do they break?
Yeah,
Do they not budge?
They are firm. You sort of testing them from opposite, the cell opposite you. You see a figure sort of squash their face, even though it's very unnecessary, sort of like ramming their face a little bit between two bars. I've been in here a few times. There's no point doing it. You won't get anywhere doing it. You could try and force through. This figure's a young, features at first glance appear orcish, but through this limited light, it takes a while to notice over the course of a few seconds it was actually more of a blue tint to her skin, which seems to almost glisten with similarly to Cire's, but perhaps more with moisture than how did you describe yours? Snaky, yeah, scaly.
Yeah.
But yeah, this figure sort of squashes up, saying, "You're awfully tall and broad. I'm surprised you can't just dig through or melt. Can't you grab them and just melt the bars? Could you not be doing that?"
It would appear not. And how did you escape this place in the past, if I may ask?
Oh, I just got released. I'm rather important among the city, and I was required, so I was bailed, bonded, however you like to name it, and then we decided it wasn't appropriate for me to come back. But
Important, you say?
Oh, and sort of along the bars.
And how might you be important to the city, if I may ask, my fair lady?
You would have had me. You would have got the information, but my fair lady, grow up.
Simply
Ever
a
so
politeness.
silly.
I was raised good and proper.
I have a boyfriend, just so I can make that exceedingly clear.
Atticus blushes intensely.
And how about you? Sort of peeks through to Asha. I don't think it's fair.
I'm not dating anyone.
Well, you must be more important. They gave you a chair.
Oh, this thing, I take just a flourish of the hand that comes along with me. Just a trick I got.
Well, it collapses down.
No, I can re-pop it around.
So, anybody hungry?
Will
Yeah.
you be bailed then, Atticus?
You got stuff in here? They took everything.
Yeah, but I can. Oh, hold on. And she sort of just drops, sits back as a guard comes in, approaches the doors. Peers through for a moment. You can tell there's a couple of seconds of the lights behind him and his vision needs to adjust. We'll have less talking in here.
Or what?
Yeah.
Just gonna look over in Obsidian's direction, just like,
who's the talker? There's a sword being held by the pommel that's being dragged along the bars as he's talking. Atticus, you, I imagine, would have paid particular notice during your being brought through here that the guards, all unsurprisingly, in any of you with a martial background, may have seen this before in such places. The guards are chained to their weapons. And he's dragging the pommel sort of almost threateningly along the bars.
Almost threatening.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who had something to say?
Obsidian would be just standing by the bars, his fingers wrapped around one of them, and just knocking with a singular claw at it, like repeatedly.
And he stops and sort of looks at you, gives you an up and down. Uh-huh. Might have our first one for the hole.
Do we actually know why we're here?
So each of you would have been booked
We're
on
resisting
your
arrest.
way. Well, I DM'd each of you the specifics of what you're in for. That's about to come up in a second, actually. But yeah, the guard comes and closes, and then heads off.
I'm gonna get up from my chair and go over to the edge of the corner and look over at Obsidian. Hey, guy. Know you. I thought I saw you getting picked up as well with all this. You are, is this where you were headed?
I suppose it was. He looks to the side, like sort of. His gaze falls upon Atticus. Not sure where to from here, though.
You don't try and hide that at all, do you? Like, do I very clearly pick up on that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I'll just kind of look at Atticus and, like, up and down, trying to connect any dots.
What
And
did
I go back and sit in my chair.
What did say, Mr. Death? I didn't quite catch it.
Oh, I mean, just that he found what he was looking for.
With a very deliberate glance over to you.
Atticus would
He
definitely
is where
be
he's supposed to be.
sizing
kind of.
Obsidian up in return with narrowed eyes.
Oh, are you awaiting your bail then?
Well, if they would finally contact my father, then perhaps I would be. But sadly, I don't have any solid contacts in this wretched city. And here I was thinking that this would be a great place to seek my fortune.
Oh, who's your father?
Addy?
My father is the one and only Vanden Gladstone. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's very high ranks among the Order.
Vanden Gladstone?
He looks all pleased with himself at the recognition.
I've never heard of him.
Well, perhaps you don't run in the right circles, darling.
Oh, perhaps not. I am, after all, but a simple repeat offender.
Hey, you said you had some stuff, though? Is it just food?
What else would you be hoping for?
Oh, I like potions, moss, ingredients, things like that, you know, bits and bobs.
Okay.
I'm an apothecary.
So,
my interest lies in all sorts of.
I'll be straight with you. I thought it was a bit of a code, but no, I can just. There's a the briefest, almost like zap of electricity, but green, and she pulls up a handful of small berries. And Your disappointment is palpable. Shall I take it? No berries for you.
No, I'll take berry.
Passes one through. Passes one to the tabaxi in the other side of her cell. Excuse me. Do you want one down? Would you like one down there? Can I be passing you?
Sure. Yeah, I'll eat.
Give this to her. Go on, pass this on to her. Passes it along. And then we'll throw a couple over to anybody on the other side who wants them. Say, take from me the gruel they'll serve in this place when they remember to feed us. These are good berries to have. Do you get it? Do you get it?
That was a fantastic joke.
I need to keep my strength up.
So now that you've... Okay. So, now that you've eaten the berries of truth compulsion, what are you all in for?
I'm sorry, I don't remember if I got your name.
Contessa.
Contessa, I see. Contessa.
So what are you in? What are you in for, Atty?
It's Atticus, actually.
That's not what I heard. Her say?
It's Contessa. Contessa. It's Atticus, and I believe that they called it a fray.
Oh, did you hit a guard?
In the moment, there was a lot happening, you know?
So
I was simply trying to sort things out. Somebody had to take charge, and that person was me.
Until it was the guards.
Yes, exactly. You understand.
How about you, my apothecary friend?
Jim, do I actually feel compelled to tell the truth?
Make me an insight check.
Oh, it looked like it was going to be a 20 for just a second.
Astonishing first roll of the game.
Yeah, you don't feel any magical effect on you. If you think about not saying the truth, there's no sort of discomfort. You can certainly try to lie. Well, that is not very interesting. Clearly, the berries of truth compulsion have met their match. Maybe I should make the berries of less boring answers. Large one? Over the corridor towards Obsidian.
How large is Obsidian?
What exactly do you need?
She called you large one, so how tall and broad and heavy looking is Obsidian?
Fairly so, I'd imagine. Like, do you need specific?
If you've got an estimate, I would love one. Like if I'm stood sizing you up, how tall is he?
Sure. I'd say over 2 meters for sure.
Google 2 meters in feet.
Oh, that's
Already measuring, huh?
Atticus is there, like a trundle wheel up and down the corridor.
it's like 6'5",
That's like
6'6"
or something.
Yeah, 6'6".
Atticus is the definition of, is he bigger than me?
Probably, I could imagine.
How tall is Atticus? I would know
He's
this.
6'6" as of about 20 seconds ago.
Cicida is tall.
I think I said he was about
Yeah.
6'2".
Yeah. So the way I see it, Obsidian would probably not stand like fully upright. Be like a bit hunched over most of the time. and his legs also have like a little bit more leeway to get more upwards. So that's like 2 meters with that in mind. So he could like go a bit higher than that. His physique doesn't really.
I've just seen you've put your height. You've put your height in your biography tab, Atticus. You actually filled it in. I've just changed Atticus's height to obsidian plus 1 inch.
Right.
How tall did you say Sida is, then?
Sida is 6'3".
Okay.
Will be standing out in the crowd.
Yeah. She's
funny.
She's not discreet.
Ash is 3'1", so it's going to be really, really good. Okay, yeah. So obsidian not forthcoming.
No.
Oh.
It was the whole tangent because Atticus. I mean,
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, she
height.
asks what you're in for.
I've joined in, and he sort of nods towards Atticus once more. Same affray, it would appear.
That's what we put down on my sheet as well. Which I think is a little unfair.
Interesting. Is it a repeated affray, or were those other times different?
No. I've been in for a variety of things. This is the first time it's been considered violent, but I don't think it was that violent. I created a frying pan out of ice and hit a guard on my helmet. It isn't like it's rather, I thought it was whimsical, and I thought it made it clear that, there wasn't an actual murderous intent, but he didn't see it that way. I believe it jammed his visor shut and that caused a bit of a panic.
And do you plan to leave like before?
Do I plan to leave before what?
Like before. Like the times you were here before.
I think I
someone
don't think
bailing
the
you
same.
again?
I don't think I'll be getting bailed out this time. No, I think that well of goodwill has run dry. But I would hope we're not here too long. At least me and her, sort of points to Asha. Do any other of you have arcane gifts? Okay, I'm presuming I've never heard of a cleric of chairs, so I'm assuming that might be learned, and we don't want to be here when the cowls come, because it'll be to spellhold for us.
Owls?
You can all make me a history check if you'd like.
The cowls, I believe.
Be here till the cows come home.
Okay. Google what is the opposite of inspiration.
Woo. Well done, Asher.
Yeah. So Asha, you would know that she is almost certainly referring to the cowled wizards. You know that Athkatla isn't a majocracy outright, but there is an official body of wizards who, on behalf of the government, regulate spellcasting, and unlicensed spellcasters are heavily fined or taken off to Spellhold, the wizard prison. Very, very rarely heard from again.
How often do they come by this place?
I believe it's daily. So it'll probably be in the morning. We'll have a cowl come through. I've seen them come through before, but from afar. They'll come in, do their to check for anybody with arcane gifts, The problem I
they
have
test
is
you.
not in great detail. The problem is when I conjured a frying pan made of solid ice into thin air and struck someone with it, I kind of outed myself as a practitioner. Even though
Asher's gonna just stand and unsummon her chair. Right. Message received. Thanks for the tip.
I didn't. That's beyond my capabilities. I didn't. It might have been somebody else. It was. Oh, I understand. I thought you. Never mind. So where are you all from? In what it seemed to be quite a very obvious, heavy lane change away from the current conversation.
DM, sorry,
Yes.
while this conversation is happening, these doors down here, are these bars? Can one see through?
You can, yeah. That's why you should be able to see through it on what you can see.
Yes.
You can see, yeah. So you can see across most of the area from where you are. You would know that central area is that large, round, circular cell, but there's no torches in there, so it's sort of depths become.
Mechanically speaking, you remove dark vision from all of our character sheets, right? So should we just always treat it, if we can see it on the map, we can see it
Correct.
in the game?
Yeah, you all have your vision set.
Oh, this is awesome. There's like shadow for the bars. Anyway, sorry. Whilst this conversation is happening,
The mad cartographer.
Going to no, that's amazing. Just gonna go a bit to the corner and say, in a combination of chimes and high pitch, almost like whisper/whistle, very bizarre, sort of almost bird-like sounds, but it would translate in common. Not that anyone else would understand it, except for maybe someone. Are you here?
I haven't settled on the perfect voice effect yet, but you would hear words to the effect of a sense of always.
Could you look around? See if there's how many guards, if they're talking about what they're going to do to us, when, something like that. We really haven't been helpful right now.
I can see what you see.
Right, as always. How are you doing? This is not bad. We've been in worse places.
You're not alone.
I know that. Okay. Different plan. She's looking at the wall to see if there's any, like, I don't know, anything that she can... Is there any weaknesses around her place that she could exploit?
Make me a investigation check if you're... Oh, no, we'll go perception for now. Was any part of that exchange out loud from you, or was it a telepathic exchange?
I don't think I have. Are we telepathic? Am I telepathic?
Just with you stepping off into the corner, because otherwise I'm going to ask you to make, rather than have everybody make a perception, I'll ask you to make a stealth, and we'll put it against their passive perceptions, just to see if they
I don't believe
heard a little hum.
I don't believe she's telepathic, and I think we established it doesn't, like, it's actually physical, like, so it's one of the things that yeah, I'm rolling really well tonight.
Okay. But yeah, you all just heard interesting, someone, like a weird mixture of whistle and hum very melodious, done
If you've ever
quietly.
heard an angel caller, like one of those silver balls that have like a chime when you move it, or a very small bell, a combination of that and whistle.
Okay. A few minutes pass as you're looking around, and as you're sort of about to start sort of testing more, you get a few seconds head start, Sire, of plate footsteps, and you manage to straighten up and not be seen to trying to pick a lock or anything. And a different guard, a young woman, comes by, looks in. You see her look away to the into the further prison before looking back. Is everybody all right in here?
Could use a pillow.
A pillow?
If you have one handy.
You see her take out a small, like a page of a notebook and look it up and down, reading. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. None of you seem to have been booked in for particularly heinous crimes. Is my understanding correct?
It doesn't seem this time. Yeah.
I'll see what I can do about some warm meals then. Anybody else for a
Hey.
pillow?
Thank you. Hey, wait. What's your name?
Kashil.
Kashir. Thank you.
8 pillows and 8 bowls of whatever it is. I'll be back shortly then.
That's nice.
She
Could have been a
heads
worse
back off,
gaff.
out of sight.
She shouts down the corridor because clearly she's the one furthest away.
Could have been a what, sorry?
Could have been a worse gaff.
Does anybody know what time it is?
No
None of you-
idea.
Does it matter?
No, I'm just curious is all. Curious. I can't imagine I'll be here much longer. But I'm curious to see what the food is.
I thought you said you weren't getting bailed out this time.
No, but I think they'll still let me out. Like I said,
By
I'm
rights, they should be letting us all out.
well. Your father, Mr. Vorgum. Remind me. Sorry, what is his name again?
You can call him Mr. Gladstone.
Mr. Gladstone.
Nice and easy to remember.
Oh, Mr. Gladstone.
Oh, well, if you're going to say it like that, you can say it to me.
Oh. Oh dear. No, I think not. You've successfully cowed me into awkward silence, so mission accomplished.
Contessa, why are you so confident you're about to be let out of here?
I just don't think that prison really suits me.
I would be inclined to agree. It doesn't suit us either. perhaps you can share your way of getting out so we can also join you.
We'll see. I don't. We've only just met. It wouldn't be proper for me to talk about such things. More than I already have. So where did you learn to make a chair come from?
It's just a trick I picked up when I was a kid. Been doing it ever since. Each time I do it, the chair gets a little tiny bit cushier.
So why don't you just off, on, and then have some sort of
Forget sometimes,
throne?
you know.
Well, fair enough.
So you said they were gonna let you out.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
But then you were saying, like, you're just gonna waltz out. I was just... If you got some
I don't recall
way out of here...
I don't recall mentioning waltzing.
I guess it's just a vibe
Oh!
I was picking up on.
And she sort of turns back as the young woman guard, Kashiel, comes back, and you see she's dragging a sack behind her and is carrying a large wooden tray that has 8, admittedly, small wooden bowls on. And she sort of drags it all in, closes, and locks the door behind her, sets the tray down, and gets cushions, handful, and sort of like feeds them through the bars. About very practiced sort of, she effectively lines it up between the bars and then gives it a to pop it through. There's no like, here's your pillow. Yeah, pops
Thank you.
pillows in for you all.
Thank you much.
It's rough stew, I'm afraid. Tough as hell, but better than what the other cook makes. I swear he's half Otiug. And sort of picks 2 bowls up at a time. He's handing them. And you hear a scream from somewhere else in the prison. Followed by a couple more screams and shouts. And the guard just sort of stops carrying her food. She was almost at your cell, Obsidian. But just stops, and you can see on her face, she looks very unsure. And she strides back and puts the tray down, and peers through the gates. You all begin to hear sort of shouts and occasional like shouts that are clearly like initially like authoritative, like people being commanded, but then it turns to, you hear different voices shouting back, and it just starts to sound like a bit of a brawl. After a few seconds, you begin to hear metal on metal, and the obvious sounds of what appears to be some sort of larger scale brawl or fracas breaking out.
Obsidian would be looking towards the Contessa, I suppose, to see if there's any recognition on her face as this happens.
You see, well, make an insight check. She stepped back from the door of her cell, but you can still see her as clearly as you could. Yeah, she looks unsure, but you detect maybe a little bit of nervous excitement. But yeah, the sounds escalate, and you're now hearing some sort of large scale affray, to use Atticus's earlier words. As you're looking out, Sire, you see a guard. Almost like at first it looks like they're running like away, but they clearly have been running for a bit to get a bit of space. And they turn with a sword drawn, and you see a satyr in the same sort of prison rags leap at them with some sort of very crude looking blade, and they are openly fighting. There appears to be somewhat of a revolt taking place.
I will definitely shout for Shatil to get out of the way, but to be careful, to watch out.
It's like, these are locked. Nothing's getting through here. Don't worry. Just keep quiet, all of you. Quiet. Sit down. And she draws her short sword, if she hadn't already. I can't remember. She's like, I'll stay here. Don't worry about it. Unless I'm called.
I'll have you know I'm the son of a paladin. I could help you out if needed.
Noted, thank you. It won't be necessary.
Okay, but if it becomes necessary, we can fight.
Very good to know, very good to know. You hear like a few screams further in the prison.
I think Obsidian at this point would be a bit like looking down the corridor and then back at Atticus, like slightly confused. What side exactly are we on here?
Atticus leans closer towards the bars. Whichever side gets us out of here.
There would be a nod for that. All right.
Jim, can I look around my cell?
You can.
I would love to know if there's has any sort of fire ever, like lighting, ever been held in the cell, like a little candle or anything like that?
It wouldn't seem so. No, it looks like it is the most pathetic smattering of straw, the thinnest single sheet, and until you made a chair and were given a pillow, that's it. There's no sign of sconces. Luxuries do not seem to be much of a thing here.
All right. Can I see what the pillow is stuffed with?
Yeah. As you open it and look through it, hay.
And then I'm gonna just start touching and tapping with my foot and like shuffling around everywhere in my cell, just kind of looking for anything that might be loose, usable.
Oh, yeah. And a bucket. You each have a nice little wooden bucket. Thank you for
I am
reminding me.
very, very specifically keeping an eye out for spell components, like things that I can use to start up some magic.
Okay.
And I'm gonna assume there's no pipe I can put a mage hand through, like in BG3?
No, there's not.
Darn it.
Suddenly, stepping around from this direction, two figures stand in front of the bars.
Minthara, is that you?
Ha!
It's the Drow twins.
the drow, as Bagard sort of
Is it
gives a bit of
actually the Drow Twins?
Is it what, sorry?
Is it actually the Drow Twins?
No, it is. One is a drow, the other is a human fellow. But yeah, they step out almost together, and as Kashiel reacts, the drow says, good evening to you, officer. And there is suddenly just that end of a corridor just disappears in a shroud of darkness. A second or two later, that bloody module.
Don't kill Kashiel.
I need to find a better way of doing that.
Give me a pillow.
A moment later, the spell dissipates. The three of them are suddenly in view, and you just see the drow behind Kashiel, slits her throat. And they come marching down between you. The human sort of shoves past impatiently. Contessa! Contessa! Oh! And she gives this excited squeal, and they horribly make out through the very narrow bars for quite a few seconds before the drow say, if we are to leave, we must leave quicker than your affections allow.
Yeah. Y'all need any help? Want
So
some company?
This is how you were planning to escape.
Friends of yours? Contessa sort of looks through and you're like, I don't think they've decided that yet.
I'm friendly.
If you're willing to help us out, we'd be in your debt.
Immediately, the drow is like, done. Anybody else making the same pact?
Pact is such a strong word, but yeah, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine.
Let's get out of here first.
You would like me to release you and then you will decide if you owe me a favor?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
I say that maybe we are wasting our time. Obviously, everyone here would be interested in getting out.
Very well. And the drow, with a quick flourish, oversells.
New trick.
Yeah. DM,
Yes.
am I allowed to use Mage Hand? If I have it as a spell? Yes.
I don't understand the question. If it's a spell you have,
Okay. Can I use Mage Hand to see if Kashiel had any keys for our prison?
oh, I see. Yeah, you can certainly search. Have the hand do a pat down of Kashiel, make an investigation check.
Stupid modifiers. Investigation. Did we all dump intelligence? Darn it.
Yep.
You find, it finds briefly the note tucked inside her tunic that was like a list of, you can see it was a just a name list, and also a single large brass key, not a bunch of keys. So it was a key.
I'll bring it back to me. Try it. Just with the cuff.
In what in your you try it in your door. You can see it was not the key to your cell door.
I'll keep it.
But I would say, with your intelligence, you would remember that she manually unlocked her way into this little wing with a key. So you possibly have a wing key, but not individual cells.
Yeah.
The tabaxi stands up and goes over and slowly closes the door over respectfully and just sits back down. The humans are, fair enough. You're gonna have to fight if we're getting out of here, yeah? Not a rhetorical question, everybody.
Well, I'd prefer a weapon, but I'll do my best.
You know where they left the, like, our stuff? That'd be super useful.
Probably, in the vault, I would imagine. The holding area. But can you not do without it?
Easier for me to help you out if I got access to, you know, my items.
All right, then. Let's go, let's go.
I grab Atticus as he passes by. Is this the company you keep now, brother? They murdered the woman in cold blood.
I mean, we were wrongfully arrested, and I'd rather not rot in this prison cell.
There's always a better option than cold-blooded murder.
Let's not call it company, but a means to an end.
You pledged a favor.
One favor.
I pledged nothing.
And yeah, well, is Sire gonna? I wasn't sure from what you were saying. Then if Sire is like, no.
If this was a single player, maybe, but it's not a single player. But it's. I think Atticus would know. His sister is unhappy, and she is definitely giving the evil eye to these people. They remind her of someone. They remind her of people she doesn't like.
Yeah. Everyone make me a insight check. I would give to you, everybody except Asher, picks up on the manner by which these three people passed by the dead guard. The drow, very lightly, but like with the tips of his feet, like stepped on her, like her back to get out over the room. The human male looked down on her as he sort of stepped over. Quintessa, absolutely, whilst still keeping a bit of a giggly. She tries to be light-humoured, but it isn't. Don't mistake it for like Harley Quinn unhinged giggle sort ofness. She very clearly did not want to look at the guard and sort of almost like held onto the bars and like stepped out and around her to get by. But yeah, that was. Everyone except Asher would have picked up on those three slightly different behaviours as they left the wing. And as you do step out, you see that the main corridor you were led down is now just that there is a full-scale riot going on. Guards in their purple cloth-wrapped plate, the riot gear of the city, are fighting against all the prisoners outside of your wing seem to be released. You see a lot of improvised weapons being used, and there's just a large brawl. Quintessa sort of pushes ahead a little bit, points across the room. Your things should be over here. And points to the south. I hope what you have's worth it. And you're sort of, in case you can't notice and wonder about your movement, this is an invisible like bars. So yeah, there's a conflict sort of taking up a corridor here. You see the satyr with these two sort of like shivs is going for the guard. The guard's holding him off and sort of pushing him back. Looks to you all and say, back to your cells. I'll cut you down. And you see the sort of he is aware. I mean, to him, another 6 or 7 are now pressing in on him, and he's sort of got his sword. The satyr clearly shows no sign of holding up, though. Are you attacking anyone?
No, I'm going to wherever I'm heading, following, hopefully, to this vault.
They're blocking the corridor. This pass here. You need to go.
Up here. I can't see.
You need to go through them.
What is actually blocking us? Sorry.
Let me do that. I put a bit more light in there for you.
Thank you. Sorry, not wanting to get into a fight. Maybe now's a good time to take your lunch break.
He is fighting for his life.
He's not
hearing this.
I go around, maybe. No, okay.
No, there's bars.
I know.
Come on, dude. Don't die for nothing.
Okay.
What happened to the drow and the men? Are they staying behind?
They're with you.
Okay. I see.
Whoa, what is that?
You mean the GM dice that you can't read?
Oh, it's my role to set the public.
No, you could see the dice. It's just a question mark dice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We can see the results.
Yeah,
Behind the GM screen.
So do you see what the ability was called?
Sure do.
Yeah, improvised shiv. The prisoner just falls on the guard and starts getting some length in between a part of where like his pauldron meets his neck. Anybody else acting? If not, the guard's gonna strike back.
Is that not a lethal attack?
It's got him mostly in the shoulder, but I mean, I don't know if you can see their health. There is blood everywhere. Both are heavily wounded.
Does it seem...
Atticus is going to try and knock the dude out with a non-lethal punch.
Okay, before you do that as well, Mr. Def was saying something?
No, I just wanted to ask if it seems like it would be possible to just break them out somehow. Like, are they... Because they're locked together in, like...
Yeah, they're in a combat cluster. They're not in a cartoon cloud of dust with loads of like punch sounds. But yeah, Atticus, if you want to make an attack on the prison guard, you're just going to make some sort of unarmed attack on him. Hits. Oh, okay. Yeah. Tell me what you do to him.
I mean,
he's
like
just non-lethal, yeah?
Yeah, he kind of called out, saying, don't die for this. But when there's someone rapidly trying to stab you to death in the face, I imagine he was not paying much attention. So he'll just kind of come in from the side whilst he's not really looking and just bash him across the jaw.
As he goes down, the satyr is like, good, you want me to finish him? I don't mind finishing him if you want.
Leave him be, he's of no threat to us now.
Okay, plenty more, and like shoves past you all towards the sounds where
wild
don't you plan on getting out?
I mean, eventually, sure, but and he sort of disappears into the throng.
What bloodthirsty people here.
So can we reach the guard? I'll try and find some keys.
Yeah, patting the guard down. There are a bunch of keys on him. There is also a short sword, but it is chained to his to a manacle
like
on his
manacle.
wrist. And I'd say from a bunch of keys you have, you can tell that it is clearly not a key that was on that chain, because that would be stupid.
That's fine. I'll just take the key ring and check his pockets for anything else useful.
Yep, make an investigation check for a quick pat down.
Cool. Nope, that's not it. Hey.
Nat 20, yeah. You find a small wrapped... What?
That 20's still an 18 for me. Just so sad.
You find like a cloth wrapped small pastry that has clearly been made with a family member's loving touch.
Oh, sweet. I am going to stuff that in my mouth right now, grab the keys, and start heading south.
Yep. Yeah, Obsidian, you find a large copper doorway where Contessa described you'd find the
bull.
A room.
With a bull.
Yeah.
The vault room, is that right? Hey, oh, cool. It just opens. Sweet.
Apparently.
Contessa steps in with you. We'll say the others are following you. And this is obviously a room of... that I imagine they would probably, if challenged, describe it as interrogation. But it looks like there has been, in the past, some pretty brutal interrogation in here. Make me a perception or a medicine check. Everybody. Asher and Sire, you'd both... Oh, that was 2 minutes ago, sorry. That was your other check. Sire and Obsidian, if you're planning to roll.
Oh.
But yeah, if you match Sire Obsidian, you would also notice
No.
that almost all of the implements in here are gathering dust. Nothing looks like it's been used remotely recently. It may even just be here more for shock effect. I would say, because I didn't fully edit the map, there are not a shelf full of loose, dangerous weapons and implements available to be grabbed in this prison.
No.
The bull is clearly a contraption that opens up, and you see underneath what is unmistakably a coal pit. So this would be...
I'm going to grab a piece of coal, or 2.
Sure,
or 3.
yeah.
And just shove them in my pockets.
You can grab a few pieces of coal.
Are there any noises coming from the Iron Maidens, or the bull for that matter?
No, you can very easily see that they are all empty. As I said, it looks like the things in here haven't actually been used in a very, very long time.
DM, I can't see the whole map, even if I walk towards it, it's all dark.
Yeah,
Or
because...
is it because of dark vision?
Because you're in the dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This scones is very small.
Can I prestidigitate some small sparks off to just kind of briefly light my way as I go up here?
Yeah, well, so you keep going. It's very
that's
short-lived.
not my stuff. Yeah, I'm not doing the full light spell, just little prestidigitation, sparkler lights.
Yeah, I would say actually a problem with the light in there is that you all seem to have, through no fault of your own, missed the other door in a room that just happened to sit in a tiny pool of darkness. So yeah, there was another door.
Oh.
Do my keys? Oh, there we go.
That changes things.
And yeah, immediately inside there is the sort of, you're in a little cage, barred, and inside you see a desk and a number of vaults and safes in the room.
Any of those keys go to it?
Trying them.
Yep.
I'm just gonna one at a time.
One of them does spring and unlock the door. And yeah, you find yourself in a small room with a number of heavy looking metal safes, but we're going to say are, although they're not on the map, these are taller. These are almost like lockers, where you can see they all have several compartments in. The table is a mess of paperwork with a single large leather-bound book that's like width like an account's book on top of a table.
I check it for my name. See if there's a locker associated with where my stuff might be.
Yeah, as you open it, you see that is a heavy tome filled with pages of inmate admission details. The main information in the book is name, crime, sentence, and which vault their possessions are locked in.
Yeah, I'm going to take a glance down the page that my name is on.
Yeah, shall I read the page out?
Go ahead, please.
There is, so the last several pages of the book are much fresher ink, barely dry. Top, Atticus Gladstone. And there's being a posh, which has been struck through and has affray, assaulting city guard, 1 year. Next one, City Gladstone, disturbing the peace, 30 days. Contessa, surname refused. Magical affray, unsanctioned spellcasting, hand over to CW. Justinius Buzzwaddle, attempting to bribe, he's got cheap and then struck out, attempting to bribe guards, 60 days. Asha Vasha, possession of controlled substance, 120 days. Obsidian, surname refused. Affray, assaulting city guard, 6 months. Vung Taylor, failure to declare taxable goods, now seized, 30 days. Note, CW to ascertain real names when visiting to collect prisoners for spellhold.
All right, I'm just and I'm gonna rip that page out and stuff it in one of my pockets, and then find my stuff.
Yep. So you see, there's a tray full of small keys in there. The keys all have a number on. You are able to open your vault and find a bag full of your gear.
I'm gonna check that it's all there and then put it in the appropriate pockets and everything.
It was not all there. You would know the things. We've already discussed the things that are missing.
Yep. Realizing that not all of it is there, I'm just gonna curse under my breath and just and shove it all back in. Do I at least have spell components back? Would
Yes.
they have seized those? Cool.
So I feel like this can all be done pretty quickly. The only question I have about this is I can't remember, Atticus, what type of armor were you having? I'm thinking in terms of doffing and donning time.
I was looking that up before. The type that I would not be having time to put it on just yet. It's heavy, so it would take 10 whole minutes. So I imagine I will just take it with me.
Okay. So I will add to your inventories the contents of your prison bags. Please make sure if you have anything that you wouldn't be able to equip realistically, you haven't auto-equipped it.
I'm not gonna change my clothes. I'll just shove them in my bag and change later.
Okay. Let's have a look. Atticus, you should have your possessions back. Asher, you should have your possessions back. Obsidian, did you not have any possessions? Oh, I was looking at them wrong. For some reason, it went to a different tab for you. So when I dragged it all back on, it added one thing, and I was like, oh, did he just have like a bag on a stick?
He's just a big naked lizard.
Yeah. And then City,
You'd like that.
I've added yours back. So again, chainmail. I can't remember how long it takes to put chainmail on. But so you might not have it equipped. I can't remember.
Indeed.
Is it 10 minutes to equip?
All heavy armor is 10 minutes, apparently. So, yes.
Okay.
I'll remain prison rags, but I will put on an amulet and get my greatsword.
Got my
Okay.
longsword and shield and my crossbow on the back.
Contessa's like, ooh, you all look 1,000 gold. Let's go, 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 go. We're ready, we're ready. As you reach the doors to the oubliette, the drow goes, "This will be the last from me before I take rest." And the doors don't all just spring open. Almost like black ice seems to form between the bars and the lock, and it's after a moment of slow growth, it suddenly, and the bars just scream and bend back.
Is there any active lighting that would be pickable that Obsidian could carry? Like, is there a torch or something that a guard would, like a lantern from a
Did you
guard?
have any? You mean you would have taken torches out of your backpacks if you'd like to light one?
Sure, yeah. Probably so.
I should be able to use the nice. Oh, that's a very powerful torch. I might need to edit that going forward, but that's on a macro that Monkey gave me. But yeah, you light a torch and it flames erupt out a bit less than I'd have liked.
Is this the room with the blood?
Yeah, and it all runs towards a bit of a central grid. The drow marches towards the center of the room.
We going down here?
You... remind me, sorry. Obsidian. Lizard folk or dragonkin?
Technically, lizard folk.
Okay.
Mechanically.
Well, how would you prefer, or how would Obsidian prefer people refer to him?
That's how they see him, I suppose. I don't think there's a preference there.
You there, scaled one.
I'd
Are
say
you able
that
to remove this?
Obsidian would not identify with either of the tribes, really. Like, it is
Sure.
a bit of his own thing by, like, yeah.
This grate, can you lift it?
Happily will.
And I'll see if I can, I suppose.
I'll assist.
But yeah, certainly Obsidian just goes towards it, like, trying to measure it up and, like, sort of mentally against the bars that were in the when they were in the cages. Like, does this look weaker somehow?
It's set heavy. It's been used typically. You feel like people have met their end in here, and the blood has obviously drained towards a grid. So people probably aren't normally in here unsupervised enough that they get a chance to break out.
Well, I guess I'll try. Should I roll athletics or?
I'm assisting, so you can roll it with advantage if you'd like.
I'll wait for the DM to confirm that.
Yeah, you can. Well, the way I normally do it is tell me how you'd realistically be assisting him, Siri.
I mean, there's enough space.
You're
for
just
two hands.
grabbing as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I just like to always ask because you have people trying to assist
Yeah.
on things that make no sense.
No, I mean, considering she's proficient in athletics, and it looks like there's enough surface to like both of us kind of like.
Yeah. You hear the crunch of stone as clearly this grate is starting to lift out, but as you're lifting it, you also hear, "Oi!" And it's that guard, the first guard, who now has a sword leveled, pointed at you, and you see in his other hand, he's holding another sword, which is chained to a severed hand. And he's pointing two swords at you.
We should walk away.
Says the lizard that's currently hoisting the whole grate.
He does not seem like that's an
fine.
option for him.
Sure thing.
Can you all please roll initiative? Oh, how is for some reason I've included the guard. That was that's not the guard. That was the. There we go. That's better. Okay, City, You're up first.
Oh, he's just over there, right? Have we opened the grate?
Yes, it's been it's lifted out. You've basically let go of it as this guy's come in.
No.
Is there any reason why we wouldn't jump in?
I would imagine lack of knowledge of what's down there or the number of you. You absolutely can just down instead if you want.
I'm just gonna step here protectively, and just hold my action in case this guard comes and attacks us. I'm gonna hold a strike, like an attack.
Okay.
For this guard, if this guard attacks either me or my brother.
Okay. Oh, I don't know why it's there we go. So that was you, top of a round. The guard absolutely steps forward and attacks the first person, who is this fellow, who I don't think you know his name, but I imagine it's probably going to show up now when he attacks.
Yeah, have
the names showed up for you?
Yeah, they show in the tracker.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, he steps forward and is going to... He actually drops... I forgot. He as he comes forward, he is gonna hold him a sword. He's gonna sort of reach for a whistle around his neck and blows, and a shrill, clearly somewhat magically amplified whistle blasts out. I didn't know if that facial expression, Luca, was oh no, guards are being alerted, or oh my god, that was a painful noise in my headphones.
No, it was very much Asher responding to fuck. More guards are coming.
And then he is going to attack with... I forgot that I haven't done as having truncheons. It's the same damage, so this is going to say truncheon on screen, but it is a short sword that he's lunging up a guy with. Oof. Badly misses. Swings over the head. That is all he's able to do, though. Next up is that guy. And he just sort of leans back from this wide swing with the truncheon and then just comes forward with a black dagger that was just tucked in his belt as he leans back. Straight in the guard's neck and then just wrenches it towards him, and the guard just topples to the floor. The hand that he was holding flopping to the side. Well, shall we go with it?
Let's go.
The grate's now open. We can ignore initiative order for the next few seconds, but you do see other guards in the distance. How do you want to handle getting down here?
What do we see down there?
You see the faintest bit of torchlight on against a stone floor, maybe 20 foot down. The walls of the shaft are slick with moss, moisture, and the sort of things that have grown and adhered to blood and other fluids that have gone down here over the years.
Dim, is there anything to barricade the doors in here?
The doors were, remember, the bars were just wrenched, basically bent backwards by the spell.
Right.
What are we doing,
I'm
folks?
up and down.
You just jumping and taking
I'm
the
just
fall?
gonna look down there, see the hint of torchlight, and just jump.
As you're...
I'll turn to Tessa and be like, why don't you lead the way?
Why don't I, first of all, ensure that we don't all land as a pile of broken bones? And the drow just...
I'm like on my butt, like about to drop.
Yeah, the drow just traces a sigil in the air, which glows for a second, and you will receive slow fall. Feather fall.
Oh, yeah, and then I'll push off.
At this point, Obsidian sort of looks up with like half a rope sticking out of his things, already like prepared to get it out.
I'm just like,
All right then.
Okay, so who's jumping down?
me.
Asher
I'll,
goes down out of sight.
Hand wave for Contessa or someone to go next.
The drow will just step forward, give you a bit of a curt nod, and just step off and down.
Sure. Once I see that one of them's gone, I'll just step right off.
I follow.
All right. I will follow them.
Okay. And as you all drop down, shall we take a 10-minute break?
Woo!
Yes,
Food!
Cool. I was just checking everybody's in the right windows. They are. So, you descend down the hole. The smell that rises to greet you as you descend is unpleasant, to say the least. Let me just take us through, and I'll show you what you see. And what you see is a scene that needs token vision removing.
Ooh.
Yeah, there is
Stinky kind.
there is a horrible congealed pile of stuff that you slow your descent and delicately land in. But other than that, it appears to be a very typical sewer. There are a couple of sconces on the wall that are already lit.
Can we hear anything coming through? Any noises? Any footsteps or particular shouts?
I've showed you. Can you all see that?
We can see a map. I can see a map.
Yeah. As you land, you hear just heavy runoff, and you see a corridor or a sewer that stretches off around a corner. Looking across you all, the drow reaches into his pocket and hands a ring to Contessa. Put it on. She slips it on to her finger and steps close to the human man that you as players can see, but characters don't yet know. Is called Zento, and sort of puts her arm around him and gets into his chest. Oh, it won't let me shift place outwardly. The drow looks across the four of you. Say, I did not need to do what I have done, but I have opened this way for you. You should meet us at the Blink Dog. There, I will tell you how you can return your favor, and also, for those of you who are interested, how further business opportunities lie ahead. The city, after all, runs on coin, and we have a wealth of it. The Blink Dog. Say it back, so that I know you have understood.
The Blink Dog.
Good. And he...
And what was your name?
Ardif.
Thanks for the help.
He goes and slaps his hand on the man's shoulder and does a quick incantation. Everybody make me an Arcana check.
Do I have to, though?
Well, we can always do a thing where it's like, for knowledge checks, you only roll if you're proficient. I'm happy with us going with that.
No way.
Silly, I'll let you decide where you'd know it from, and if you want to share it out loud, you don't have to, but you recognize the casting of a Dimension Door spell. But all those of you who rolled higher than a 15 would also notice that as he... Well, Sida, you'd know that this spell allows the caster to transport one person with them. Everyone who got above a 15 would notice that as he casts this spell, Quintessa's ring glows the same colour for a moment, and then all three of them just go in on themselves and are gone.
Oh.
Indeed.
We should move.
Yeah.
Can I jump
Looks
over
like
this?
Yeah, it's only 5 foot.
Do we know where this leads?
Figure we just walk for a while until it gets less smelly, and hopefully that's a clue.
Perhaps we keep our voices down.
So, pausing for a moment, Obsidian, you had your torch, didn't you? But loading you onto a new scene has not automatically done it. So let me fix that for you. Okay, so yeah. Obsidian wields a torch. What's in Obsidian's other hand? I can't remember what Obsidian does in the way of weapons.
There would be a giant maul.
Ah, is it a two-hander? Just so I know when combat comes.
Locked over his shoulder.
Okay. So yeah, sorry, unpaused. You do hear... Go on, City.
No, I need to stay close to Obsidian because he has the light. So I am leading, but and I'm keeping a very sharp eye out for any traps or signs of life. I think I spent enough time in places like this to know if there's maybe some messages on the wall, things like that.
You hear a large splash at some point. All the sound, I'm trying to make it in this game because I can build the soundscapes myself, that we're going to avoid the sort of situations we had, like in my Curse of Strahd, so many wolves in the background of just a huge chorus of wolves and cars constantly going, except there's no wolves. I'm trying to build it so we can hear everything. So when you hear the splashes and the squeaks, they are things I've deliberately added in. You come to a junction. You see that it heads off in 3 directions.
This must be the important choice he took.
I'll just, as a reminder, that I do have the observant feat, so it's 18, just kind of like flat passive.
What is that? Your perception?
Mm-hmm.
Observant, cool. And doesn't that affect surprised as well? Observant.
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, if it's alert.
That's alert.
It's a passive, and then my passive investigation is 15.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
what it does.
18 passive perception for a campaign, unless that changes. For no particular reason, how does that change if your eyes stop working?
My eyes are gonna stop working. I still have hearing.
Yeah.
And a nose.
You need to do a thing like every. So I love in Baldur's Gate 3, which I'm fine talking about for a second because it's D&D and it's topical. I love how even when you're like in front of someone trying to hide, like, do you have a mind flayer parasite? If like the voice in your head is like, don't let them know that you have a parasite. Your character, like stood face to face with people, is always like, full Charles Xavier at every moment. It's like, shh. But I've also seen a dialogue where it's like, we're looking for an artifact, and then like Shadowheart in front of you, and then we'll be like, don't tell them anything. It's like, what? Yeah, okay, well, clearly you know something. So anyway, yeah, here is a junction.
Okay.
So,
Is there the splash? Did it come from left, the right, the forward?
It came just from next to you. I'd say with an 18,
Great.
You are quick enough to notice that there's just a large, not giant, a large specimen of like a rat that had been swimming, seeing you all, and just turns and like bolts, swims away.
Okay.
There was no
Not a
giant
crocodile?
tentacle. No.
No, okay.
any
Asha,
suggestions?
Oh, sorry.
Asha, how are you feeling?
Not bad, because it's not like we woke up there. We had just been booked and put in there. So, like, I'm okay right now. I am feeling a little anxious about the fact that we just left an open grate behind us and we're going. So I'm going to start getting a little jittery, standing here looking at these two like they're deciding where we're going. Left,
Okay.
right, straight. Should we just flip a coin? What are you guys thinking?
Let's go forward.
I'm just gonna glance behind us and try and keep an ear out for what would sound like guards following us.
You come to an extremely heavy set like floodgate that you know would be used to like divert the flow of the entire sewers in emergencies. It looks like it is caked with grime and to a point where it almost looks impassable because we ain't doing a Crucible adventure. So certain areas are blocked off.
Probably not here after all.
Right,
You made the wrong choice. Obsidian dies. Atticus, have you ever been down the sewers before? If so, when? Or is this a very new experience for you?
Very much doubt Atticus has been in a sewer before, and is probably walking along a nose runkled, trying to cope with the smell.
It's a great smell we've discovered, huh? One of those smells that stay with you for the rest of your life.
Like nothing I've ever experienced. Worse than the worst of farms.
Oh, I'm not stepping over that grate. What's below down here?
Just
DM.
slowly. The liquid is only like a foot under the grate. It's just a fairly rapidly churning flow of sewage. Obsidian.
And this is,
Oh, go on.
are these stairs?
There is a couple of steps up to just wall, but looking up, you see a shaft that goes up about 30 foot, and at the top you see a hatch with a heavy padlock on the inside.
I'm gonna just take a minute and change my clothes. I don't know where we're gonna come out, and I don't want anyone to see me in these prison rags, or more importantly, identify me as someone who should be in prison. And he starts going through his pack and grabbing his fine clothes and changing into those instead of the rags.
That's not a bad idea. Hey, big guy, you mind just tucking that torch away a little bit?
No peeking, lizard boy.
The lizard will probably put the torch somewhere down anyway, or try to lodge it into the wall for a moment.
Yeah.
And find a place there where it will kind of sit. And then I intend to try... Is it like possible to try and crawl up or it's
It is so
in
slick.
in this shaft, or no? Okay.
It's really, really slick with gunk and grime. Make me a perception check.
Sure.
As you're sort of in this area looking around and seeing how feasible it is and if there's anything to like anchor, I would say that you notice of a 17 that in the stone there are 2 square recesses a foot or so apart, and you could be forgiven for thinking that maybe there is a ladder that slots in here for when service staff need to like get up and down.
Right.
I'm going to turn facing the wall so my front is away from everyone and change into my leather gear. And just I'll take out cloth and wrap up my arms and then put everything back on.
Okay.
Just
If you
there's
have
also
any...
rags on the floor.
Okay. Gigi, what are you saying?
Sid is also changing, not to the armor, but just to not be on, because the armor takes 10 minutes, but just, to not be in a prisoner outfit.
Were you going for your armor, Atticus, or were you just getting into non-prison clothes?
Just clothes, and then if Ciro's changing, I'll just stand with my back to her, like, in the way, so no one can see.
So you're disposing... Are you leaving your prison rags here? You're disposing of them?
No, I'll keep mine.
Okay. Well, but
Just to not leave any evidence that we went this way, mostly.
If you are leaving your prison clothes, you can just delete them from your inventory. What are you doing about your gear,
I thought it was only a minute or 2 with help.
It varies depending on the armor type. It's but I think it halves it with help, so it'd be from 10 down to 5, and someone would have to help.
I mean, I could definitely help you. We could help each other. It's not like we haven't done it before.
I'm putting on my actual leather armor, but it's leather, so
Yeah, that only just
putting
takes
on clothes essentially.
1 minute. I think I would probably be thinking about speed being of the essence and wanting to get out of here.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a priority for Obsidian at this stage, unless it's like very I don't know. Are the prison rags somehow distinctive?
Yeah, they are bright orange. Oh no, they have a bright orange emblem. I put it in the item description.
Really?
Where are we? Prison rags. Ill-fitting, sweat-stained rags given to prisoners with a bright orange mark on the front and back to stand out as a prison uniform.
Oh,
I think,
all right,
I think
then.
we should get that out.
Sure. With a nice shawl.
Do you change into something, or are you just now a big naked lizard?
I'll change from my prison rags into regular tribesman rags.
These are my formal rags. Okay, so people are changed.
Indeed.
Oh, sire. I think you made a mistake there. You've stepped straight off into a large swirling pool. I imagine that was not your intent.
Oh no, I didn't realize that. I just thought because it looks like it would have at once been a pool, but it's now empty because it looks like it's like twigs.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
exactly
end-
my thought.
The edge around like a cistern where it all flows to.
Okay.
Right. It looked like basically like an empty pool is what it looks like from the art. But no, I don't know. If it's full, it will not jump. I'm not going swimming.
Well, not many pathways left. Let's hope one of them actually leads out from here. What was that?
You will hear a large hiss from
Is that more like steam
what sounds
hissing,
like
or-
but make me a nature check.
I'd like to do a stealth check.
Go for it. It
Oh,
sounded.
no.
It sounded more like a beast. But what I will give Sire is after you all hear that loud, low hiss from behind you, several seconds later you hear large, a large number of like chittering squeaks. Oh, I didn't even trigger that. Perfect. And down the corridor, you see running towards you, from behind you, a group of rodents of unusual size. Who are all running frantically in your direction. As they clap eyes on you, they accelerate. And I would like everybody to please roll initiative.
Oh boy.
There we go.
I
Asha,
don't understand the decimals.
you're up.
So I can't actually. Oh, it's those blurry things down there.
Sorry,
Okay,
so
cool.
the decimals, just so you know, it all once you roll, it also puts your dex in there, just so that if there's an initiative, if two people both have the same, it takes the higher initiative. So you never need to do anything with it. It's fine.
So they're definitely running towards us, or
Yes.
running from something, or both.
In your direction, and you can hear them, which is the ripples you can see, and they're shaped in the darkness, getting closer.
Cool. I can't actually see them yet. I'm definitely not stepping closer, so I'm just gonna like kind of hurry and like wedge past Obsidian out onto this thing and go across here so I can be across the water from these things.
Okay.
That's I can't actually see anything yet. I can just hear stuff, so that's it for me.
Okay.
What are you holding, Atticus? And what are you holding, Sira?
Longsword.
Great
And a
sword.
shield.
Oh. Shit.
No one
Also
has
have a
any
crossbow.
hands.
It is dashed to get there, so it will not attack immediately. Obsidian, you're up.
Sure. Well, seeing as no one has spare hands, Obsidian will just probably drop or like lay down the torch on the ground. Hope it like.
Yeah,
immediately
it's
fill up.
it's before. I'd say this is like 5 minutes, longer than most combats before a torch will go out on a relatively dry floor in no rain.
And just sort of like stretch slightly and take a swing at the rat. At the unidentified rodent. Let's go. Sure. And I would like it to go 5 feet to the left, please.
Is that before or after? Is there no damage?
Oh, right. Yeah, the damage will be.
I'll do you one better. It flies and splats on the wall.
It's like a golf swig.
Yeah,
Yep.
before falling into the water. Anything else from Obsidian?
Squishy.
No, he'll stay where he is, I think.
Okay. It will dash, so it cannot attack. Atticus.
I will move through one of my allies and come down with a big chopping motion onto the frontmost round.
Can't remember what weapon you use actually. You a great sword or
A great sword.
A great weapon master reroll. Oh, I forgot what a satisfying noise we ended up on. That's Gregori's great sword noise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anything else from Atticus?
Considering I would if I could see more, but because it's quite dimly lit, I'm just going to move so my back is against the wall slightly.
Okay. Oh. And this rat comes running out and is going to bite out at you. It hits. Any reaction?
Nope.
Gets you heavily around. It almost like tries to grab and like scale you for a minute as you're batting it off, and as you sort of batter it and moves around, it manages just to find an unarmored spot on the back of the leg and just bites in on your hamstring.
Oh, I do have a reaction actually. Don't I?
You swine. Well, you will
No, but,
know for next time. Well, what was your reaction? Do you have a reaction?
Yeah.
Call for Siri.
If something, they provoke an opportunity attack when they come within my reach.
Oh, with
Or I'll
great
do it on the
weapon.
next one, which is inevitably coming.
What's that based off?
This is the heavy weapon master, which is.
I thought that was a. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, well you know for the next one, and the next one's happening now.
Yeah, I was.
Is it,
biding
is
my
it
time.
10? Is it 10 foot reach or 5 with this
Oh,
still?
No, just because it's a great sword, so only
Yeah.
5 feet.
You crunch it, which I'd say is probably a good job because these rats work much better when they're mobbing as a group. So he was coming in hot. Next up, Siri.
Siri steps down. He's gonna target this rat. With slight enchantment.
Good grief. Nice. So extra, Cheeja.
So
Yeah.
it's a very, the way she moves with the sword, it's almost like a swooping dance, and it's very, very precise. Whereas like Atticus is all brawn and very strong hits. She's just about like the precision. So she skewers the rat from the mouth to the tail, and with a sweep movement, just kind of like makes it fly away.
Would you
and
like
then
it
she-
also like Obsidian? Would you, if you'd like to, you can have it very unceremoniously slap against the wall and fall into the water. If you'd like.
Yeah. She's skewering it, and then with like a whiplash motion, the sword kind of comes off, leaves the rat clean, and she's gonna step back again because more are coming. And that's the end of her turn.
Okay. I did that. Another. You hear a faint splash as a rat jumps out from the side of the water and is going to bite out at Asher. It hits. Do you have any reactions?
No, sorry, I was muted. No, I do not.
A heavy
Makes
bite.
it hard.
The big rodents.
Yep.
Distressingly, I can't see Atticus's health bar. I can see everyone
okay.
else's.
I'll do it now, but I'll also need to be reminded afterwards because it'll disappear off the scene. So it should be there now.
Mm-hmm.
This other rat comes in and is gonna bite out at Atticus. I also need to make it so my DM targets all unselect after each turn. I forget what module does that. Badly misses. Top of a round, Asher, you're up.
Yeah, After getting bit, I'm immediately just gonna like put my arm out towards the rat at. Let's target it. Rat at my foot and just call down this like fiery looking light for very little damage.
Does it auto disadvantage when you're in melee? I can't remember, Monkey, how it's set up.
It's a saving throw.
Ah, yeah. Wait, should it? I can't remember.
I don't
No.
normally have it set up too.
Yeah. I don't
No.
It fails. Yeah. Oh my god! But it does 1 damage. The
Yeah.
rat.
Singed.
The rat has the rat's eyebrows thin slightly, and it seems unhappy. Anything else from you?
No.
Okay. Obsidian.
Right then. Obsidian shall move forward, try to slam another one away. Well, let's see how that goes. Sure.
It goes.
I'll take that. This one will just be crunched down sort of with an overhead.
It's very unsatisfactory. There's not a very, very good sound effect for that when that hammer comes down. Put that on the Foundry to-do list. We'll get you a nice, good maul noise. Yep,
Sure.
It is squashed.
And then Obsidian shall sort of put take the maul to the side and sort of prepare for a leap and then try to go over diagonally.
Yeah, with your strength, you
Can I make
absolutely
the
do
jump?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
So just with that little run up of a few steps, jump to the other side, and like mechanically I have to be there, but practically and visually, he jumps towards the rat, jaws
Sure.
first, sort of trying to grab it with a bonus action. I will do my bite attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, consume. Does it have no? Yeah.
Hungry jaws.
It's an unarmed strike.
You weren't targeting him, but it's 22, so that hits. 10
Whoa.
damage. Describe how you kill this other rat.
Well, I feel like the whole body of Obsidian just sort of lands on the rat, but first comes the jaw. So it's sort of crushed underneath, but basically the part with the head sort of remains locked in the jaws. As he
Did
sort
you
of flips it
play-
out.
Have you played God of War Ragnarok?
No.
Okay, there's a new type of dragon in them, like crocodile dragons, and they very much have a bite, slam, really heavy-handed attack that reminds me a lot of that. Yeah, you... and what does Obsidian eat it? Does he spit it out? Is it just to
No,
kill?
It shall be spit out, but it does give me 2 temporary hit points.
Nice. The rats are defeated.
You okay?
Yeah.
That looks like
hold on.
you might get infected.
Well, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
just
But I would love it if Asher and Atticus could both make a Constitution saving throw, please.
yeah, okay. Can I finish casting my
Yeah.
heal up there?
Ooh.
Better. I'm good. Thank you, though. Constitution.
Yep. Thank you, Atticus. Cool.
Oh,
Man, two
no.
were rats this early in the campaign to be very, very cool. How upset would you be? All the were things to be bitten by, like a were rat. Oh man! Anything that
Were-rat,
isn't a
find a
werebear or werebear or were-tiger. Let's not do anything too hasty. Okay.
Jim, after healing myself, I'd like to reach down and find a loose stone, and I'm gonna pull out of a pocket what looks like some dried moss and just kind of blow into it and whisper stuff, and put it on the stone, and cast light on that stone.
Woohoo!
We need to turn the sound effect off light, because light sounds like boom and blade.
You know, I don't hear any of these sound effects. Maybe because I
Is anybody else hearing them?
Yep.
I'm
No,
hearing them.
I had
okay.
ambient and interface on 0. That's probably why.
Right.
Probably because of how obnoxious my candle keeping. I think you turned it down and you put it to 0 in Spelljammer last session because of something that was happening ambiently. I can't remember.
That's right. That must have been it.
Yeah, so you've cast,
I now
you've cast
have
the
a
light, have you? What color is your light?
It's a nice warm orangey color.
Oh,
Well, it's about to be. Don't worry.
Whoa.
Another dead end.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, you see a set of stairs where an obvious heavy cave-in has occurred at some point and has buried the staircase in a huge amount of rubble.
I imagine that grate doesn't look liftable or breakable.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So as we continue on, you would have noticed by now something that Atticus is quite familiar with, but maybe a bit weird for Asher and Obsidian. Whenever we hit one of these bridges, Seated leaps across rather than steps across it.
A ballerina.
Obsidian's. Oh!
Yeah. So here, instead of like going through it, she would just like jump through it.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we came from, down there. Oh. A door?
It's locked.
No.
Would there be a ladder around, perhaps?
Woohoo!
And yeah,
that.
there are a few things dotted around this room.
Mm-hmm.
There is a ladder
Mm-hmm.
propped against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of tools in here: shovel, mallet, even a big brush. All sorts of improvised weapons in case you'd fled about getting your gear. There is also a chest, quite a grimy-looking chest, against the wall.
I'm gonna beeline for that.
Might be line for the ladder.
Are you opening the chest?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it.
Yeah.
And
You
then open it.
see, there's only two things in there. It's not nearly full. There is a rather grimy, slightly grimy set of brown scrubs, what look to be dark brown, like sewer workers' scrubs. Make me a perception check, please, Asher. From what looks like a slight smear on the shoulder, peering at it for a moment, you can see that it isn't a smear. Everything else is a smear. This originally looks like it was a white uniform that now looks nearly brown. Resting on top of them is a book, dark red leather, and in a gold emboss on the front is written "History of Arm."
Look in relatively good condition.
Looks in very good condition, other than
I'm
what
gonna
looks to be a set of slightly grubby, grimy marks where the fingers would be opening this. Clearly it's been read.
tuck that away in my bag. It might have resale value.
I will add the readable book, History of Arm, to your inventory, and I'll also unhide the article on Legend Keeper after this.
Woohoo!
Is there anything else
Unlocked.
around in here? Like anything that would look good to someone that brews potions and stuff? Like weird moss, strange spider webs, things like that?
No, I would say that looking in this room, this clearly is a utility cupboard for whoever works down here. There are a couple of spare tools. If you think you can find someone who will buy a shovel, you can. But otherwise, it looks like even the barrels are empty. This is just a closet.
Okay. Y'all think ready to go up?
Yeah.
All right, who goes first? And I'll just hold out the stone.
I mean, is it the ladder that we can take to the other place that had a place for a ladder instead of being the ladder that leads somewhere? Actually.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Does it not go up somewhere?
The
No,
ladder
it goes...
you can see is resting against the wall in this room. It doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay, well, never mind then.
What I would love is if everybody else could see that, and Asher just starts climbing it up to the
You know
flat
what?
ceiling.
I'm actually fine with that. I hand on the ladder, handing out a stone. Like, who's going first?
Asher.
Yeah.
That ladder doesn't go anywhere.
You know what? I saw the ladder and just assumed in my mind that it went up somewhere. My bad.
It's wishful thinking. I like it. Positive.
What have you? You guys are. You know what? Out of character. I'm 5'8", but I think I'm the shorty of this group.
Totally.
So I'm just gonna look around. What
Like a
one of you
melody in my
want
head.
to grab? One of you want to grab this, and we take it up to that spot, right?
Yeah, Celia grabs one end of it. If it's too long, then one end. If she can, then she'll just carry it by herself.
Okay, yeah, you can. One person can carry it a little bit awkwardly, but it's not any sort of check. It's a wooden ladder.
And so they returned to the other bit of the map.
Oh, I guess it would be awkward to jump with the ladder.
Oh, that's true. You can always pass it over and then follow. Depends how much of a she will not do this thing it is for her.
Oh, she won't do it.
Yeah?
So she gives it. She goes to Attic. It's like, do you mind?
It's fine. I'll take it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Strange that the guards didn't chase us further. Seemed like they were coming.
You had to say it.
It was a hiss.
It was a hiss. There was a hiss. Silly. As you're talking along, walking past that cistern that you all saw earlier, you just notice a bit of a different movement under that water for a moment.
Okay, watch out. There's something in the water. She says as she takes out her longsword and is looking for any shadows. Step quietly.
Oh God! You had to say it, didn't you?
Step very quietly.
Are you intending to stealth?
Yes.
When you say very quietly?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
stepping.
Obsidian would crouch atop one of those grates and look carefully into the water, trying
Yeah.
to see
Twinsies.
if he can find the thing before it finds us.
I'm absolutely gonna go to crouch down to stealth and then just trip.
I mean, yeah, you're all going to crouch down to stealth whilst emitting a shining bright light for 40 feet.
I mean, yeah, I didn't mean Obsidian to be particularly stealthy for that. Just observant and looking closer to the water.
Make me a perception check, Obsidian. Specifically Obsidian. I am going to make an opposed stealth check. This will decide if you are surprised or not.
Sure.
It comes from below, just eats the whole. Great.
Well.
Yep. With a burst. This is going to attack Obsidian, and then we go to initiative as an enormous crocodile erupts. And yeah, him crouched down looking at it comes up.
Yeah, I think Obsidian is actually looking the other way, so it just
Oh god, really? Okay.
comes on his...
I thought you were peering at it, but okay, sure, yeah. As he's looking, he gets absolutely deep blue seed from behind this crocodile comes up.
There's always a bigger lizard.
If Asher and Siri can both roll initiative, please.
Oh, did that? Okay.
So yeah, here's that surprise bite on Obsidian, and then we begin. Oh, so it bursts up. Maybe it's him crouching or looking. You're almost bodied into the water, Obsidian, as this crocodile now half rests on the edge.
Wouldn't it have advantage if it was...
Oh god, it would, yeah, sorry.
Stealthily underwater. Never seen.
Still missed. Okay. So now we begin. Obsidian.
Yeah, so I think what happens is just like Obsidian looking into the water, but still being very much on high alert. So as he hears the splash behind him, sort of still manages to duck downwards. The thing is in the water. Is it that far from me?
No, it would be more like that now.
Sure. All right.
Also, who's holding the ladder and what have they done with it?
Atticus is holding the ladder. As the commotion breaks out, I imagine he'd just set it down by the wall.
I thought he'd be like 30 foot. So opportunity attack.
It was tempting to yeet it, but sadly we need it.
So I think that the torch is in the water at this stage. It's fair to say.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I guess I'll just turn around and swing at it. Let's see. Could it be in the initiative tracker or not?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's hidden.
Ooh.
It's not for me. Were the rats not in it for you?
See it.
I believe
They were.
They show up on their turn.
That makes sense because before I noticed we have the initiative cards at the top. I noticed I can see all the rats, but on Stream Viewer I couldn't see the rats, and I was really impressed. It looked like it's when they emerged from the dark and you had a vision on them, but they emerged from the dark on their turns. Okay, cool.
Sure.
Stops your pesky players planning. Oh, who's going after me?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, and I will utilize a rage.
Describe your rage. What
Sure.
happens?
As Obsidian misses the first strike, just sort of seeing this gargantuan jaw right at his puny face. And I imagine that the creature is still like sort of hissing and baring its fangs and all that, so he will just roar towards it, and there's like this strange orangish glow coming from somewhere deep inside the throat. Not exactly like a flame bursting, but just the sort of the promise of it, of sorts.
Okay.
As his eyes go actual glowy, and all the wounds, all the past wounds rather, just sort of flare up a little bit as well. It's just.
And let's see what you do with it.
Well, for now, end my turn.
Oh, you can't attack. Oh, okay.
I don't believe so.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just one attack. We are level 1,
Yeah.
Harrison.
Yeah. In fact, I also missed that you had rolled it there. Atticus, you're up. Ladder bearer.
Setting it down so it's flat against the wall.
Asher immediately begins to try and climb it.
Just along the side.
Well, I was probably carrying it so it's horizontal, so it's laying down on the floor. and I will leap across here to Obsidian's side and come swinging down with the greatsword.
That is certainly a hit.
And harnessing the momentum of that swing, as the swing finishes, he's gonna grab the sword by the blade and come back, but with like a Mordhau strike. So he's gonna hit it with the pommel of the sword.
Just like Baldur's Gate, the
Swing and
pommel
a
strike
miss.
never hits. Yeah, misses. Anything else? Anything else, Maticus?
Nope, stays planted there next to Obsidian.
Asha.
I'm gonna just kind of call out a string of words. Nope. You know what? Fine, I did. I clicked on it. Fine. So I clicked on that accident.
We can say that you didn't summon it. This is like the Jason Momoa. This gonna be good. Like fold out chair.
It's just a
so
bonus action.
I absolutely clicked on that by accident, but it's so in character that, like, yeah, she's gonna drop the stone, panic, and a trapper's gonna appear next to her, and then she's, oh shit, and then blame on this guy.
Fails. And it just erupts with flames for a moment as it's bearing down on you, Atticus and Obsidian. It looks in a bad way.
She's gonna just start giggling at herself in a really high-pitched, like, kind of hysterical giggle fit. And that's the end of her turn.
Where did you drop the stone?
Just right here, like, kind of in front of me. Oh, can I ping there? Right there, kind of in front of me.
Okay.
Right next to the ladder.
Yeah. So I don't lose track of it. I gotta climb up it later.
Yeah. It's not concentration light, is it? Is it?
Don't
No.
think so.
No, I don't think it is.
No.
Okay, the crocodile. I am gonna have it. Yeah, the crocodile is going to disengage
No.
and swim. It sort of ducks and almost like pushes back from the wall a little bit, and it just turns and with a heavy flick of the tail drives itself down into the thick, murky sewage.
I'm gonna start looking around wildly at all the water.
Okay. So, you're up.
I'm assuming I can't see it in the water.
You cannot. It's stealth beat your passive.
Yeah. Sita is going to gingerly look around, and she's actually going to ready a crossbow in case it comes. I'm just going to take some. See if I can. Like, I know we're not flanking, but like, see if I can, without stepping into the darkness because I can't see shit. So she's readying a crossbow with her
Okay.
crossbow.
Are you just gonna hold an action to shoot if you see the crocodile?
That's right.
Okay, Obsidian, you're up.
Sure. So just peering from here would be like a full action effort to see.
Yeah, if you're taking a few seconds to try
Yeah,
and
that's
make
fine.
a
No,
concerted
no.
effort.
In that case, like seeing it disappear, Obsidian doesn't think long about it and just jumps and dives.
Okay.
Where croc?
Can I find it
Where
there?
Croc? Where croc?
What'd you say?
Can I find
Where
it
croc?
there?
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Devil couldn't hear what you said.
Sorry.
Can
That's
I,
okay.
can I find it there?
Okay, so You haven't been able to see it. Your passive doesn't reveal it. You don't want to spend the time doing a real search for it. So if you want to, you can absolutely make a blind attack, and you can ping what adjacent square you want it to be in, and it will be a disadvantage. And if it hits, I will tell you.
Sure. That's really bad if I cannot see it underwater there.
I mean, I feel like it is very, very generous to call it water.
Sure. Okay, well, I'd suppose...
And this is the part that it all flows into.
Yeah.
I've described this as being like a churning system of
Fuck
slurry.
knows. Maybe it just went to the middle. Now I'll swing for the middle, I guess.
Okay,
So-
make me an attack roll with disadvantage.
Sure. Not 20 and not 1. Amazing.
Oof. You do not feel your
Sure,
maul
yeah.
connect with anything.
I imagine so, and that means that my rage is gone.
Okay. Anything else from Obsidian?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, no.
Okay. Atticus, you're up. You see Obsidian in the poop soup.
Sure do.
I mean, can he see me now? Why could
Well,
he
were
see
you
me?
were you diving in? Or
Yeah,
were you...
sure. I have swimming speed, man.
Okay, yeah. Then you do. Yeah, you cannot
I'd
see
do-
him. He is.
I'd probably do like a bit of a, swim around and then just sort of swing wildly, I guess, at the
Okay.
end.
Okay.
If I don't
Atticus
run
will
into
move
it.
up there to the north, and then he will kind of just start swishing about with the tip of his greatsword into the slurry to like make, vibrations and movement to kind of see if he can attract it. Not that that'll probably override a
Sure.
meal jumping into its mouth.
Sure. Okay. Anything else from you?
No, I'm not Deviant. Actually, I might use my second wind.
Sure. Asher, you're up. What a noise.
I'm actually gonna pick up another loose stone and take out that moss again and put it on, and then just throw it in the center of the thing.
Cool. Okay. So
So it sinks, hopefully.
yeah, absolutely, it does. You throw it in, the stone lands, and there's a moment where you see its light before it rapidly fades. However, light on one
No,
source
I
at a
did
time.
another one.
I think, can you only have it on one thing? Oh, you can have it on multiple.
Unless it
For
says
s-
in the spell.
For some
I
reason,
imbue the item with light.
yeah, I am mistaken, man. I always thought light was you have it on one thing. Cool. Okay, but I'm not changing my colour back. But it's the same.
Okay, that's fine.
It's the same distance. Yeah, there is a little brief glimmer of it down there. I will give to you as it passes. As the stone passes by, I am going to clear the initiative, the chat log, by the way, because it's starting to get a little bit heavy. And oddly, the weirdest thing, it makes Foundry lag for me. As the stone sinks down, there's a moment, Obsidian, where it illuminates just enough that you can see the croc. It is moved a fair bit away from you. It looks like it is actually attempting to retreat.
Can Sita see it with the light from the surface?
I'd say you can see a large heavy shadow and a smaller shadow of Obsidian.
Can I shoot at it with disadvantage with my crossbow?
I don't think you even get disadvantage for crossbow actually. In
No,
water,
but it's so dark.
you can just. I'd say it's illuminated by both. I'd say you can make a regular attack. But yeah, it has met your held action. So yeah,
I
roll.
don't know what to target.
Just roll the attack. Its AC is 12.
Oh! It is a hard shot.
Yep,
It was a hard shot.
it's Obsidian.
No.
Okay, yeah. So you see that it is attempting to get away. Anything else from you, Asher, or was that your full? Just your
That was
action
it.
doing light?
That's all I'm
Okay.
doing.
the crocodile, which is effectively hidden, is going to again disengage and is going to swim under the bridge. Oh, that is clunky to do on Half a Beast. What's its movement? Where are we? 30. It is disengage or can't dash. Okay, that's crocodile. City, you see the shadow move. You know that it is somewhere in this region.
But I can't see it.
It's left. The light was in this water, wasn't it? So it's no longer. It's no longer betraying a huge shadow. But you know it's a rough area. You can again ping a square and attack into it with disadvantage.
Do we need to kill this creature? We just need to leave out of here. Do we need to kill it?
No, let it go. Let it go.
Grab the ladder. Gonna grab the ladder and dash.
Okay.
This way.
Is grabbing the ladder.
Pick my stone back up.
I think a thing of that size, that's going to be your main action. Carrying a 30
Okay,
foot.
then I can't dash. So 5 feet, and that's it.
Okay, Obsidian.
Sure, I'll go after it.
So you're chasing after it, yeah? I would say
Yeah.
catching up to it. For purposes of targeting, you can both see each other. However, your maul is going to be disadvantage swings underwater.
Will it be if I have swimming speed?
Oh, does swimming speed negate?
It definitely does not affect that.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have certain kinds of weapons for underwater combat, like spears and stuff, or tridents.
Yeah, I thought it was trident, spears, and crossbows.
Sure.
And isn't it weirdly darts as well, which makes no sense to me?
Nice.
Hits. Tell us how you kill it underwater.
Yeah, I think, you know what, with the size of it, I think it would have to sort of like just come up a little bit, like closer to the surface. So I think Obsidian will mostly just sort of try to grab towards its tail and then like crawl onto it and only then like sort of hammer it down, trying to find the skull like this, kind of further up there. So just like this long swing towards the head.
The rest of you see and hear some horrible splashy commotion, and then suddenly Obsidian is breaching the surface of the water, almost like croc wrestling, but with, I don't know, with like using the maul to like choke it. And yeah, he kills it as described, and you see just the slowly submerging body of an enormous skeleton as Obsidian reveals himself to be okay.
Sita is inspired.
Siri, despite what the module says, I don't think you should recover a crossbow bolt from that poop soup unless you are going in looking for it.
Well, it said recovered 0 anyway, so...
Oh, did it? Okay, sorry. I misread it.
No,
I will pick my stone back up from the floor.
Okay.
Well, that was an amazing show.
Obsidian will crawl out from the soup.
You're looking a little worse for wear there, mate.
Huh?
Don't suppose anyone's got any
In what way?
cleaning magic?
Clean.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you out if you don't mind, and I'll just prestidigitate all the poop and slurry off of
It takes
Obsidian.
for the next 2 hours.
Probably quite a lot of rat viscera, I imagine, as well.
There you go, bud. A little better.
This is better.
I take the ladder.
Yep.
I'm carrying the ladder.
Oh.
You gonna take it from me?
You think I
No.
take the ladder.
I didn't want us to get there and then for Harrison to be like, nobody picked up the ladder.
No, that's it.
The hatch opens, more crocodiles. Yeah, you found the ladder does actually slot in rather nicely to those 2 divots on the floor.
Ooh, look at it. It's right there.
And looking up, you see that at the top of the 30-foot hatchman, the 30-foot ladder, there is a padlock. But I mean, frankly, you also have a giant mole with you.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, the exit to this dungeon was sealed with an arcane lock padlock. Are we going to attempt to finesse
I
the
will
lock, or are we going to
hand out my
smash it?
stone to one of you guys and just. All right, who's going first?
Sidian would be happy to smash the lock. But...
Yeah, it is old and rusty enough that when you propped on the ladder, you're able to just like steady yourself on the wall, as slick as it is, and just knock off that padlock, which falls down. There's a bit of a whoop, clatter, hits the floor, and yeah, you are underneath obsidian, what looks to be a heavy manhole cover.
I mean, since I'm already there, Obsidian will just crawl out.
As much as I'd love to say you're just in like the next cell wing over, you're still in the prison. Fresh, cool night air hits you, and you hear like the quiet bustle of a street at night.
Sweet. But no one around.
You hear people like in the distance.
Sure, but no one strictly around seeing us crawling out.
No one's crouched there going, "What are you doing there?" Sure. You can hear, and if you peek, you can see people going about their business at like outside a nearby tavern or walking down the road. But it's a quiet night.
He'll just lean down towards the opening. Clear. And crawl out.
Is everybody following?
You two go. I'll guard the rear.
Let's go find a nice pub and have some dinner.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, I'll head up. I'm not going first though.
I mean,
people are out already. Yeah.
Sidian's no longer here.
So
okay. Just making sure.
Making your ways out. You find yourselves on a fairly quiet... Where are we? Why hasn't it played? Oh, I forgot to put music on. Okay, you can imagine some nice quiet... Some quite nice evening sounds. You find yourselves on a bit of a side street in the city. You can see the guardhouse in the distance that you'd recognize when you're being brought into it. You know that you are further in the city than where you were arrested. From the outside, you would not know what is happening inside that prison at the moment. No sign. The building isn't aflame. There doesn't seem to be some huge rush of guards to or from the building. Someone looks at you a little curiously from the tavern. They're stood leaning outside, smoking from a pipe. But they don't seem horribly concerned or alarmed. If you say so. But yeah, fresh, very, very fresh air. A cooler night than you'd expect it. Those of you who are fairly new to Arm, you've heard about how hot it is. But tonight is a cool, crisp night. The 4 of you are there. Potentially guards after you. You know that your names were taken at least.
But have been erased from the book.
I've ripped them out of the book.
So,
contacts, potential contacts waiting for you if you decide to. But yeah, you
Any
are
of you,
loose in the city.
any of you know your way around? Do we need to ask for directions?
I'm afraid this is my first time in the city.
We can always just follow the sound
Same.
of glee and merriment and find a nice pub.
I'll look over to the guy that was standing there. Just the way to the blink dog.
What did you want to go with Blink Dog for?
Someone said it was a good place to go. Were they wrong?
I don't want any trouble. I just want to drink and smoke and avoid my wife for as long as possible.
Oh, sorry, it's my first time in the city.
And you're wanting to go to the Blink Dog?
Maybe I got some bad information. I've got a friend that's already there, though, so maybe I should go warn them. Can you just point me in the direction?
Well, I didn't mean any disrespect by it. It's just, I got into a bit of trouble myself when I was a younger man, but those days are long since gone. But I didn't mean any disrespect to your friend. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Always, when I ran my bakery, I always paid my dues. Always paid. Never missed one payment. So I've got nothing against them. Nothing against them.
So, like a general direction, or?
About 4 roads over, east.
All right. And
West.
if I were looking to go somewhere else, you ever heard of the Copper Coronet?
Yeah. Who doesn't have a copper coronet?
Hey, like I said, first time in the city. I'm sorry. I'm completely new here. Which way would I go for that one?
Northeast.
All
You'll
right.
find it middle of the slums.
Oh, okay. All right. Any place that you would recommend me go for a good night's sleep?
He points back to the inn.
Place he's
Or the
standing in front
tavern
of.
that he's stood outside.
Can I see a sign anywhere?
Yeah, it's called the Scarlet Shield.
All right.
I'd say the fates have brought us right to the doors of the Scarlet Shield.
Feel
Maybe-
like
Maybe not.
No, we walked. We walked up, and
I'm
we're right
gonna
here.
go
thank
back
you.
inside. Yeah.
you have a good night.
And he heads inside.
I'm gonna turn to
It's
the rest.
just-
I feel like I'd rather. Sorry, I'm saying.
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you first.
It's just that we didn't really come that long away.
You can
Yeah, I'm
literally
right there with
see
you.
the building.
I feel like I'd love to put some more distance between me and that building.
Mhm.
By going straight into a place full of criminals.
I mean, when I was headed here, I was headed to the Copper Coronet. That's where I was supposed to go. So I'm fine going there. We could find a different place, or, go straight to this Blink Dog, see what kind of trouble we can get into.
I'd rather not.
I
So,
all right. Well,
coronet.
are we? Yeah, if we can go to the Coronet. I'm only saying it because I know it exists. I don't know anywhere else in this city, so you know of a better place.
Sirius looking at Atticus.
I mean, I know it doesn't sound great, but at some point, at least some of us are going to have to visit the Blink Dog. I'm a man of my word, after all, and I do need to get myself out from under their thumb in owing them a favor. But that doesn't have to be now, so Copper Coronet's fine with me.
I would expect if we don't go visiting there soon, we'll get visitors from there.
True.
So, but yeah, we
But
can start with
agreed,
the
not
Cornet.
going to the first place that we see after immediately exiting the tunnel is probably wise. So let's head in that direction.
Okay. So as you head off in the direction of the Copper Coronet, your first night in the City of Coin, that's where we're going to end our first session. We will pick up immediately from here next week to our viewers. But yeah, that was a very good first session, everybody. Thank you very much. Anything anybody wants to say before we wrap up? We haven't got any sort of quippy signing offline. We haven't got anything like that. Just, yeah, bye. We will see you next week.